Brace yourself for a knockout. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 fighting games of all time. Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. For this list, we'll be looking at the most popular and impactful video games that fit into the fighting game genre. Obviously, because so many fighting franchises have so many sequels and re-releases, we're sticking to one game per franchise.
I'm not interested in whatever you call yourself. I was questioning your existence.
Number 10, Virtua Fighter 5, Final Showdown.
Ready, go!
While it may be only available as a downloadable title, this seemingly last entry in the age-old series stands as the most complete package players are ever going to get, thanks to its additional content, such as new costumes, characters, and stages. In terms of a love letter to the godfather of fighting games that would go on to inspire the likes of Tekken and Dead or Alive, it certainly has plenty of merit. For longtime fans who just can't get enough of facing off against Dural, you won't be disappointed.
Knockout!
Number 9, BlazBlue Calamity Trigger.
The wheel of fate is turning. Rebel, one, action!
For those who like their battles with an animated edge, look no further. Kickstarting the series that wholly embraced the 2D fighting style, while sprucing it up with an in-depth and investing narrative. This game truly was the trigger that sent Ragna and the others flying into the gaming spotlight.
Keep trying. Back on it.
With a relatively small yet dynamic roster of characters, beautifully animated combat sequences, and plenty of replayability with its online, arcade, and story modes, you probably won't be able to put the controller down. At least until you've seen each and every Astral Heat. Also, we just basically didn't have it in us to not include Taokaka.
I'm too hungry to go on.
Number 8, Killer Instinct. While the series has recently been given the polish and reboot that it so desperately needed, there's no denying that its initial entry was certainly its finest hour. Stepping away from some of the classic fighting game conventions that had been seen in other genre heavyweights, it implemented mechanics like double health bars, automatic combos, combo breakers, and the oh-so-famous ultra combos. As you can guess, the combat, as a result, got pretty intense. The game also isn't afraid to go crazy with its character design. After all, where else can a cyborg face off against a velociraptor, a werewolf, and a skeleton? Number 7, The King of Fighters 13. Ash Crimson's story comes to an end, and with it comes one of the best entries in this juggernaut of a franchise. This is largely due to the streamlining of many of the motifs present in the predecessors, and in their place, applying redefined versions of some of the series' most popular features. Sure, its story mode is nigh impossible to follow unless you're a veteran of the lore and you have the wiki open at the same time. But that doesn't really take away from its beautiful visual style and vastly improved controls. Fans will most certainly get a kick out of letting loose with so many crazy, colorful combos. Not to mention another chance to check out Mei's magnificent set of techniques. Hey, we're a fan. Get it? Fans? She has fans? Anyway, whatever, let's go. Number 6, Soul Calibur 2. Why battle with your fists when you can cleave your enemies in two with a giant friggin' sword? Well, they never actually split in two, but the big swords are there for sure. Anyway, the undisputed champion of weapon-based fighting games, this sequel not only gave us slick combat with haunting characters and amazing stages, but also a treasure trove of extra content. One aspect that stands above the rest is Weapon Master, a miniature narrative that sets players on a journey to seek out the fabled blade known as the Soul Edge, with the added bonus of unlocking new weapons for their chosen character along the way. Oh, and Xbox and GameCube owners totally got to play as Spawn and Link, respectively. Cool. Number 5, Super Smash Bros. Melee. And Nintendo hits it out of the park. Though, what would you expect if you toss in the likes of their most famous and iconic characters and put them in a game with the goal of slugging it out? From Mario to Link to Pikachu to Samus and a huge roster of others. There was never a better excuse to get a GameCube than this title. Not only was the fighting fluid and highly addictive, but there was also plenty on offer in both single and multiplayer modes. The latter was the best kind of crazy with its 4-player free-for-alls, but the former also gave us adventure mode, aka that one time we had to fight Giga Bowser. It was cool. Number 4. Tekken 3. The series may still be going strong, but no one can deny that the turning point for this series came when Jin and his fellow newcomers took over. With far superior graphics, a huge boost to the character roster, as well as much greater depth given to the actual, fighting, especially in terms of movement, this set the standard for all Tekken games that followed, and remains one of the most successful games under the banner of the original PlayStation. We'll, also just forget that Tekken Ball was actually a thing. We promise. Number 3. Marvel vs. Capcom 2, New Age of Heroes. In case that repetitive title didn't clue you in, this game will indeed take you for a ride. Despite recent sequels trying to recapture what made this entry so accessible, nothing has quite managed to live up to it. Especially the experience of unleashing the fury of your favorite 3-character tag team and lighting up the entire screen with hyper combos in glorious 2D. With its massive roster containing everyone from Spidey to Ryu and every A to C list character in between, along with its iconic art style, this was undoubtedly Marvel and Capcom's biggest bout. Number 2. Mortal Kombat. Now this is how you relaunch a franchise, quite literally taking everything back to the beginning. This reimagining not only brought with it classic characters we all know and love, but surrounded them with an immense amount of blood and brilliant content.
Kung Lao wins. Fatality.
The fatalities and newly introduced X-ray moves redefined the stylistic violence. It had an online mode that had the whole world battling against each other, as well as a narrative that was actually well written, investing and proved that Western fighting games could have good stories. Mortal Kombat 2 may have raised the bar and was a contender for this spot, but Mortal Kombat 2011 definitely shot it into the stratosphere.
All those teeth and claws, yet still overmatched.
Before we reveal our number 1 pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
KO.
Number 1. Street Fighter 2, Hyper Fighting. You all knew this was coming, right? Though, considering how many iterations and sequels there have been of this classic series over the years, it was a hard choice to nail down just one title. In the end, it was Hyper Fighting in the arcades, or Street Fighter 2 Turbo Hyper Fighting as it was released on home consoles, that took the mantle for increasing the game's speed and showcasing the most well-balanced roster of characters, making the series into a household name. Even all these years later, and Street Fighter 2 is considered the definitive fighting game experience, thanks in no small part to it helping define the genre as a whole. Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo and subscribe for new videos every day.